Who's it?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Attleboro High School in Attleboro, Massachusetts for the season opener of the United Women's Lacrosse League season number 2. And in game number 1 of our doubleheader today, it's the Boston Storm taking on the Philadelphia Force. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Sudikoff alongside Tracy Weiner, a Hall of Fame lacrosse coach down on Long Island. Very happy to have you alongside here as we get ready for really another momentous day in women's lacrosse history, women's professional sports history, really.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, these young ladies are some of the best that I've ever seen play in both high school and in college. You know, coming from Long Island, many of them are from our hotbed and the club circuit over the years. So we've really watched them grow from the time they were about 12 and 13 years old. So for them to culminate their careers and being able to continue to play is unreal.
And really a great weekend here, obviously, with having the Division One semifinals and championship just a couple of miles up the road at Gillette Stadium, and then have these games here in between on this Saturday night. And then, of course, the majority of these players out here played at a very high level in
Yes.
college. Many won national championships. Many, at the very least, got to a Final Four. So we expect to see a lot of special play out there.
It's going to be fun. You know, they are very, very excited. You know, many of them coached during the off season, and this being their pro season now, so many of them are well-established college coaches, and they're just all excited to be with their friends and have a great time. And I'm sure they're going to put on a nice show for us.
Boston team is coached by Abby Capabianco, and on the Philadelphia Force side, head coach is Mike Bedford. But as we look at players on the teams, name a player from each side right now if you want to pick one out as a special player to watch here, especially today.
Well, it's so interesting. You know, I really do like. I'm going to go with. It's a tough one. I love Barbara
put you on the spot.
I love Barbara Sullivan on the defensive end. I think Barbara is unreal for the Philadelphia Force. And Kara Mupo coming back. She actually tore her ACL last year during one of the games. Rehabbed the heck back, and she's unreal. But I also love Sammy Cermak, not going to lie. She's a great player. On the other side, you have Danielle Trasco for me, who is, numero uno U.S. player, won a, just wins at every level. Played at Boston University, but, won the World Cup. I mean, you don't get any better than that.
All right, the starting lineups have been announced to the crowd here in Attleboro, so we'll step aside here for a moment for the national anthem. But on the other side, we'll have the opening draw. Season number 2 of the UWLX is on the way next. National anthem complete as we get ready for the start of our opening day doubleheader here today between Boston and Philadelphia, the Storm and the Force. Boston last year made it to the championship game, losing to Long Island, while Philadelphia made it to the semifinals, losing in the semifinals, went 2-6 in the regular season, finishing 2-7 overall. Boston ended up with a 6-4 overall record after going 5-3 in the regular season. Obviously, this is a condensed season. You play 8 games over about a 10-week span, but Is it tough for these players to get back out there on the field, though, after some of them a little bit of a, not a sabbatical from playing, because a lot of them coach, but a little bit different atmosphere now getting back on the field?
It is and it isn't. They really just love the game. They all continue to play. This is a unique summer because you don't have the World Cup players, as you know. They are not permitted to play until their commitment to the United States is over, which is fine with us, and we wish them all the luck. So you actually get a couple of players here who were wondering if they were going to make it. So they're even more excited and more amped up to be here.
So the two teams coming out onto the field, and looking at this opening draw control, number 8 in white, Hannah Murphy, special player from UMass. She won 522 draws and 212 this season at UMass. And on the other side for Philadelphia, it's Barbara Sullivan, who you mentioned played 4 games last year for this Philadelphia team out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, and Barb's a Garden City girl, so we all know her well on Long Island, and you see how big and strong she is, and we got a chance to talk with her before the game today, and once again, really, really excited to be here. And these girls just can't wait to get started. I'm so excited. We'll have to talk about the rule changes as we go through, because there are several different rule changes from the college ranks to this game today. But it's all fun, and let's just get it started. I'm ready to go.
We do have the 90-second shot clock, which really was instituted in this league last summer. It's for today. It's at midfield, so we'll try to keep an eye on it today. The 90-second clock. We'll play 2 30-minute halves. Boston in the white. And Philadelphia, what would you call that color officially?
Dark teal?
Dark teal? Blue? Green?
Not blue.
Not blue, not green. Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
And the opening draw is loose. And trying to scoop it up for Boston is Kelsey Sheridan, but not able to keep control along that far sideline. So it looks as if, nope, she will have possession. Sheridan for the Storm as we are underway. Season number 2 of the United Women's Lacrosse League. Happy to have you with us. Of course, after this, we'll have Long Island playing Baltimore. First shot attempt going low is scooped up by the starting goalie for Philadelphia, Emily Leitner, out of University of Pennsylvania. Played 2 games in goal last year for Philadelphia. 2012 graduate, Penn Quaker.
Gotta love having the Ivy League girls in the league, They bring another dimension to the sport.
There's a couple that we'll talk about in this game and in the next game as well, as the Storm on the offensive attack as they move right to left in this first half. Jennifer Schmidt holding it out front. Pass to the left wing, back to Schmidt. Has it knocked out of her stick, and the foul called on Philadelphia. So Schmidt on the free position, and it's saved by Leitner.
It's a nice save. Stick side high, though, so it's a save you expect Leitner to make.
Philadelphia looking for the clear. This is Jackie Jahelka. She takes a little bit of a cross-check to the back there, getting knocked down. Foul going on Lauren Kahn.
Jackie Jahelka, one of those special kids, Division II Player of the Year out of Adelphi University, won a national championship about a week ago.
Yeah, just a week ago. I think actually less than a week. I think it was Sunday.
I think you're right.
Adelphi winning the national championship. She scored 72 goals this year.
Unreal. I mean, could have went to any Division I school, decided to stay home and go to Adelphi, and really just for 4 years they were unstoppable.
Philadelphia setting up in the half-field offensive attack. This is Kara Mupo. Mentioned battling back from an injury for her. Puts a shot wide of the net. Goalie Rachel Valarelli, currently an assistant coach at Villanova and was one of the best goalies in her time playing at UMass. In fact, really, she was the best goalie in the country a couple of years ago.
It's fun watching all the girls play. Mupo is the assistant coach at William & Mary.
Good feed to the front. Gets broken up. It's a foul on the Storm. They'll have a free position, looks like, for Mupo. And Mupo, an assistant coach, William & Mary, won a couple of the national championships at Northwestern. Mupo shot, and it's in the back of the net. 1-0 Philadelphia scores the first goal of the 2017 season.
And I'm glad that it's Kara, to be honest with you. Again, going down on that championship weekend at Hopkins with torn ACL, and she worked hard all season long to come back and ends up scoring the first goal of the year. Great stick work by Kara. You'll always know, that when she's got the ball because it's very hard to gauge her stick. So really made that 8-meter work because the goalie did not know where that shot was coming from.
She had 23 goals last year in the 9 games that she officially played. And first goal of the 2017 season. And the Force lead the Storm 1-0. So go for our second draw control of the day. Still Barbara Sullivan there for Philadelphia. Boston going with Vicky Graveline on the draw control this time. So the Storm move in on the offensive attack, trailing 1-0. Went 5-3 overall in the regular season last year, then 6-4 against the overall record after ended up losing in the championship game to Long Island. And turning it over, and Philadelphia starts to clear. This is Sullivan, 2015 graduate of Notre Dame. Good ride here by Boston. Ball dropped down to the turf. Sullivan double teamed and took the stick up high. And that'll be our first yellow card of the 2017 season.
A stick check to the head. Automatic yellow anytime your stick hits another player's head. That was beautiful. What a pretty goal right there. You want to talk about a textbook fast break goal. Unreal. Mupo doesn't miss from that angle.
The penalty was on Abby Urefas, and quickly Philadelphia takes advantage and now leads 2-0.
So fun to watch the girls in open space. I'll tell you what, that ball went from Barbara Sullivan, into a full 5v4, and it was in the net before you even knew what happened. Well, some of the girls are really excited as Becky Lynch and Barbara Sullivan played together all through high school, and then Becky ended up transitioning to be the assistant coach at St. Joe's, so she's kind of been up here a lot now, and down in the Philly area, so it's really nice for those two to kind of reconnect and play with each other.
Becky Lynch out of North Carolina, 2012 All-American, was a Tualatin finalist that year as well.
Well-deserved. One of the hardest working kids I know. I mean, there is no quit in Becky Lynch's engine.
So Philadelphia leading 2-0, getting ready for our third draw control of this game. And Boston with the win. Looking to get their first tally. Allie Fleury. Bouncing pass to the midfield is controlled. Of course, Boston, their leading scorer last year was Kayla Trainer.
Of course.
She spent this past spring season as an assistant coach at Harvard. Of course, after her career playing at Syracuse.
So fun to watch. One of my favorite college kids that I've ever seen play this game.
Kayla Gottlieb has it knocked out of her cross. And picking up the ground ball turnover, Daniela Epler. Midfielder out of Virginia, University of Virginia. And now the Force trying to go against Boston unsettled there. Do draw a foul. Quick restart, feeding the crease. A little behind the head attempt by Kim Kolodny.
I've seen that one a million times. Kim actually played for me in high school, so I was blessed to have her.
Farmingdale, New York.
Yes, I was blessed to have her for 4 years.
Played at Rutgers University. 7 minutes gone by. It's 2-0 Philadelphia. Free position goal started the scoring from Kara Mupo. Good feed and a nice, I believe that was a save there. Valarelli is able to reject that shot by Jackie Jahelka. Able to track down the loose ball, though. Epler. A little handoff there along the left wing. And Mupo draws a double. Threw it away there. It's loose here on the near side. And scooping it up is Carly Cronin, who just graduated from Bryant University, where her squad did make it to the NCAA tournament after winning the NEC championship for a third time in 4 years. In front, and the shot wide. Daniela Trasco trying the quick stick. That pass a bit high, though, for her to handle.
Yeah, and Danielle can handle almost anything anywhere near her.
Trasco scored 11 goals last year for Boston. From Massapequa, New York, but played collegiately at Boston University, where She was a 2-time All-American. I feel like it gets a bit repetitive, though, when you look up and down these rosters and say this person's an All-American, this player was a Tualatin finalist, and all that, but
Etrasco
get all the talent together.
I can tell you more of Danielle's game than she probably can because Farmingdale Massapequa in high school was a huge rivalry. So we always had to, scout her out, and then she went to Boston, and now she's the assistant at Georgetown University doing a great job over there with Ricky Freed.
Philadelphia looking to go up 3-0, and they do. Beating Valerelli in front of the net. That's Kim Kolodny. Brings a smile to Tracy's face.
It does, because anytime it's around the net, all you have to do is throw it anywhere near Kim. She's a magician with her stick and makes it look so easy. But she can catch anything, shoot, patient, big target. I really do. I like the way these teams are all working together so far. I mean, for many of them, this is the first time playing together. The season just ended, in college. And they're trying to figure each other out, but they'll soon just realize all you have to do is get it near these kids, and they're always going to catch it.
Hannah Murphy back on the draw for Boston, going against Kelsey Mcgovern, a pair of UMass Minute women. Murphy just graduating, and McGovern back in 2014, but now an assistant coach at UMass. So now it's player versus coach, effectively. Although I guess Murphy is done as a player at UMass, and her team is able to win the draw here. Now it's Murphy with the ball. Gives it up.
Nice crowd here today for our first game. I'm pretty pumped to see the stands fairly full.
A little misplay there from Gottlieb, but nobody around for Philadelphia to take advantage of it. Jennifer Schmidt now circles around to the top now along with Murphy there. Storm won 2 of 3 meetings against Philadelphia last year. Feet out in front, and a nice save there by Leitner.
That was a great save by Leitner on a great look. And, 90% of the time that's probably a goal, but what a great stop that was. And then had the wherewithal to find the ball as soon as it came off her.
And you mentioned the crowd, Tracy. It is definitely good to see on this opening day. And, with the national championship happening, both on the men's and women's side, just down the road in Foxborough, has to help out a little bit. And obviously, I say good planning, but it's more so an obvious type of situation where we're like, hey, this is going to be happening this weekend. We have to open our season here as well.
Sure. It's a Lacrosse Central. If you're a live, love, lax person like we all are, if you have a passion for the sport, this is the place to be. I mean, my whole weekend's set. I'm excited. I was excited to have these games tonight, and then tomorrow morning I will be at Foxborough.
Yeah, that Navy-Boston College game last night was tremendous to watch, and you thought Boston College was out of it when Navy led 9-5,
sure,
and then things Kenzie Kent.
Quite
the player.
And I will tell you this, though. Sam Apuzzo won every draw in the second half.
Yes.
And Sammy's always had the ability to do that. She was unreal.
See what Kenzie Kent decides to do, though, when her college days are done, because she might be a better hockey player, but you could make the argument that she's a better lacrosse. So she'll have a couple of options when she's done.
That's what we all want for these girls is options.
Shot goes wide here.
We never had these options. Obviously, I'm a little older than these girls, and
yeah,
so for me, when they reached out to me to help out with this, I was beyond excited.
Good fake, better save by Valerelli, but then the rebound is put home.
That's Mupo's spot. I mean, it's since and again, she's a Long Island kid, played at Rocky Point High School. So I mean, I've known Kara since she's about, I'm gonna say, 11 years old. And that is her money spot.
Boston going to call a timeout here as Philadelphia leads 4-0. Gives us a chance to talk a little bit more here during the timeout. I'm Scott Sudakoff alongside Tracy Weiner, a Hall of Fame head coach down. I wanted to use the word legendary, and you said no, just
definitely not.
Just Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that's pretty good too, though. I can't say I'm a Hall of Fame of anything yet.
That's okay though. I got a couple of years on you. No worries. It's just fun. For me, it's always been about the fun. It's always been about, I'm as intense on the sideline as you can get. And these guys laugh all the time. They're like, you're so much nicer in the booth, Weiner. And, it's just about competition. But for me, you reach this part of it, and all you want to do now is continue to watch the game grow. When I first started coaching, it was, all 11 girls could be in there. There was no boundaries. It was wooden stick. It was insanity. So now where I see where the game has evolved to now, and now these girls having an opportunity to play at the next level, for me, this is what I'm all about. Mm-hmm. And if you look at, I can tell you stories about 90% of the kids on this field, and, we're involved in the club circuit all year round, and it was cute today. The Storm ran a clinic, a youth clinic, before we got the season underway here, and there must have been 60, I'm going to say 11-year-olds running around the field. For me, that's just as exciting as watching this game, because these are the girls recognizing that now it's their turn, to kind of pass the torch a little bit, and that's what we're really about.
Yeah, I was actually reading something recently and seeing specifically here in Massachusetts, the percentage-wise of more kids, boys and girls, playing lacrosse to continue to grow. It's certainly a growing sport. And you look at this league, obviously for these players themselves, it's special to be able to keep playing the game. But probably really in their mind, they realize kind of their place in this, and the fact that they're setting the groundwork that
100%.
Hopefully 5 to 10 years from now, this thing is booming, and those players that they had today during the clinic are the stars. And
absolutely. And you look at the coach for Philly, Mike Bedford, and he's one of those guys. He coaches with Kara at William & Mary. He's another assistant there. But he was one of the original guys that played in the MLL. So I had some great conversations with him about, what the groundbreaking was for them and how that all evolved and whatever. And he said, he can see that same modus apparatus in the girls, because you're part of something that hasn't been around, and you're so excited that you get to still keep playing. And those are the kind of people that we just love having a part of our organization, people that really understand where we are now and where we want to get to.
So back after the timeout with Philadelphia leading 4-0, 17:46 remaining in the first half of play. Hannah Murphy returns on the draw for Boston. Again, she won 212 draws this year, but she also scored 47 goals.
Well, in girls lacrosse, it's if you can self-draw, you take it and take it right to the hole. I mean, that's, Taylor Cummings made a living out of that for, 4 years. So
Lauren Kahn throwing it down behind the cage, below the goal line extended, and the Storm will set up their offense. United Women's Lacrosse League beginning year number 2 here today. Little handoff to Kahn, sidearm shot. I think got deflected wide, but back up anyways for the Storm by McKinley Sportone, formerly McKinley Coro. Trying to get a shot off. Denied there. Now it's Jennifer Schmidt with it. Boston trying to get on the board. It's a team that scored 117 goals last year, but again, I mentioned, now you don't have Kayla Trainer on your offense. Makes things more difficult for everybody.
Yeah, just a small little,
No big deal. Kahn, her shot is wide, back up again by the Storm.
Kayla Trainer is just unreal. I mean, when I watch her do some things with her stick, I'm just in shock. She drops my jaw.
Here's Murphy, working from the left wing. Looking for a cut in front. And there's a save by Leitner. She's made now 3 or 4 saves. And she's trying to get some space to clear it on her own there. And now gets the pass ahead to Margaret Corzell, who won a national champion. Actually, I think she did at North Carolina, I think.
I believe she did, yes.
Not last year, but
a
couple years ago. And now 5-0 Philadelphia.
It was 2012, Corzell.
But they continued to attack unsettled, really. Boston not able to get back defensively.
Yeah, well, the quick restart is also, is they're using it to their advantage completely. So you saw on that play, the foul was made in about the 30-yard line, and then without even waiting for anybody to set up, the ball was just transitioned down the field for a fast break. And then, again, when you look at Philadelphia's goal scorers, I mean, you're talking about some of the best in the business, obviously on both teams, but, these girls, they are just taught as soon as they get the ball, they're going right to the cage. And they have been doing that for about, I'm going to tell you, 15 years.
So Philadelphia now a 5-0 lead, almost halfway through this first. Graveline versus Sullivan on the draw here. Boston's been able to win some draws, but they have been denied on the offensive side so far. So far for me, it's a very happy lacrosse weekend.
Yes.
Both Maryland women and Maryland men moving on to the national championship games tomorrow and Monday. And then I get to be here as well. And
Yes.
yesterday I was lucky enough to be part of the men's lacrosse all-star games they had down in Providence. So it's
amazing.
lacrosse-filled weekend, and
that's what I say. Live, love, lax, man.
have all the events going on this weekend.
Real exciting. I'll be there, like I said, tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'll be at the Tawaraton as one of my former players, Nadine Hadnagy's up for the Tawaraton this week.
This is Tanner Guarino.
That's a great play.
Now Philadelphia going for the clear.
I mean, you talk about a simple little play right there, but there was nobody else in the cage. She had to make that play, and it was the perfect pass. I mean, that's just stuff you can't even teach.
Philadelphia again quickly up the field. Corzell dropping that pass. Couldn't handle the return feed. And a ground ball to Boston for the time being there for Carly Cronin. She draws the foul against Becky Lynch. And now the Storm look to move up offensively, still trying to get on the board here, down 5-0. Good chance here, and a shot wide.
You know, you look at the score and you do see it's 5-0, but it's not as if Boston hasn't had opportunities. You just have to get rid of some of this rust, you know, and make sure that their shots are on goal. They're trying so hard to, you know, be perfect, and sometimes you just need to shoot.
Petrasco maneuvering over to the right side as she's being marked by Sullivan. Petrasco gets a step. Her bounce shot goes in the net. Petrasco scores, and Boston is on the board. First goal of the season for the Storm.
Yeah, I mean, and if I'm the Boston coach, I call an ISO for Petrasco until they show me they can stop her anyway. I mean, she's just that type of kid, and I say this respectfully, as blue collar as they come, you know, and I love her in high school, in college. I mean, this kid will run through a wall for you if it means that she's going to get a goal.
So good round of applause there for Daniela Trasco. She's announced as the goal scorer. Again, played at Boston University, graduating back in 2013. And now let's see if Boston can start to string some offense together, trailing 5-1. Also, it's really adds to the excitement of the women's national championship game because you have Boston College playing in it tomorrow.
Like a home game.
after their win yesterday against Navy, and a Boston College program that's certainly been knocking on the door for the last couple of years, and we'll see some Eagles in this league.
Yes.
Michaela Ricks we'll see later today.
And I mean, you were standing there when Ricks was telling the story, I'm sure, about, you know, and here she's graduated and gone out of the program, but watching them get to Championship Sunday literally brought tears to her eyes. That's how much these kids love their programs and, you know, their college choices.
I'm a little torn tomorrow because obviously I have my Maryland allegiances being a Terrapin graduate, but I also do know people at Boston College and
Sure.
do some work there and would like to see them win as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow I just hope for a really good game, and part of me wants to say, well, Maryland's won a ton, so maybe share the wealth a little bit. Now the men on that's a different situation. Beat Ohio State.
Yeah, I got you. You know, like I said, I have my kid's a senior there, and so that's where my allegiance will be for one more game.
Nice spin and score by Lauren Murray.
Wow, Lauren Murray, what a great play that was. Got the space, got her hands free. What a great roll dodge. Went into the one-handed cradle and then just body weight forward and crushed it.
A Northwestern Wildcat. Lauren
many.
Murray out of Cross River, New York.
So many Northwestern. You know, you can always be redundant on some of the teams.
And I think what's important, though, is now is a team like Boston College, a team like Navy. Although Navy, of course, comes, you know, Maryland is a hotbed of lacrosse. Navy is a little different in the sense that so they say. It's you know, my point is it's good to see. You want to see some other schools really get involved, and you want to start not saying as much Maryland,
parity,
Syracuse,
you know? That's what
Northwestern.
Yeah. You know, you just want to start seeing parity in the sport. You want to see teams, you know, that are working hard. But the truth of the matter is as the sport is growing, you have more and more players that need to play in more and more places. It's no longer where you have, like, a top 20 kids and they go to the top 5 schools in the country. And now with the recruiting rules changed back to more restrictive, I think you'll see even more parity.
Kelsey McGovern bringing it into the offensive end for Philadelphia. leading 6-1. Samantha Cermak with it, lobbing it.
Mupo stick work, amazing. I'm always amazed by Kara.
Mupo with the pass to Kolodny.
Just makes it look so easy.
Now Cermak trying to go back to Mupo. Double team, ball down. And the ground ball pickup. Boston had it there. I believe it was Nicole Poley who,
Yep, Nicole stepped on the line, so the ball went back.
of course, Nicole is head coach at Mount Ida here in Massachusetts. For those not aware of where Mount Ida is. Mount Ida College. Move here by Murray. Now from behind the cage. Good cut. Mupo the fake and the score. Went high to low. High with the fake and low with the score. And it's now 7-1. I think she has a hat trick already.
I wouldn't be surprised. But did you see what she did? So she cradles up high, fakes the goalie goes, and as the goalie goes to step towards her, she just doinks it right between her legs. You know, and again, what she can do with her stick is so unbelievable. And for girls that are just starting in this sport and want to know single most important thing about
I was just going to ask you
lacrosse,
that question. You read my mind.
Stick work. 100% stick work. It should be, you know, in the boys' game, they never worry about catching and throwing. It's so second nature to them. They just catch it, they throw it. They're worried more about movement and not getting jacked up when they're running with it. For girls, you see so many of them that are still, you know, oh, I got to catch it, I got to catch it. Your stick work needs to be something that's an afterthought, not your only thought.
We see Liz Hogan on the sideline for Boston, one of their goalies, looking like she's kind of getting the equipment ready.
So good. Liz Hogan's so good.
To go in potentially for Valarelli, Rachel Valarelli, who has faced a lot of tough offense here from this Philadelphia team so far.
I mean, what's going on? You know,
Mupo
obviously,
specifically.
Correct. I mean, great looks. They're all one-on-ones. Valarelli's made a ton of saves when she's, you know, had those high percentage shots. It's just one on a goalie is really an offensive player's dream. But Liz Hogan's fun to watch. You know, I mean, you have to be special to be a goalie, you know.
It's a special breed of
it's correct.
athlete.
That is exactly right.
Any sport that is a goalie.
I never speak to my goalies. I just tell them, bye, I love you, at the end of practice. I don't say much else.
Carly O'Connell working behind the cage with Becky Lynch. Lynch holding on to it, looking for the cutter, Kolodny. She gets shut off. Still has it in her cross, though. Cutting was Lynch, and that pass didn't get through, but Philadelphia did a good job swarming around the ball, finding 50-50 balls. Boston able to get this one, though.
Boston did a nice job there, getting their sticks in the passing lanes, really cutting stuff off, so making it a little more difficult.
Still trying to hopefully keep the clear attempt alive, but not able to. Here's Kelsey Mcgovern at midfield. She loses it to Atrasco. Atrasco looking up the field now. 6:35 to go in the first half, with Philadelphia leading 7-1. The only Boston goal has come from Atrasco.
And I'd call her number again right now if I could. And she's probably the fittest kid out there. She's a workout-aholic, and, I mean, she's just a bend, don't break kid at all.
Here she is right now. And finds the space to fire it home.
I'm like an assistant coach up here, right? I'll just call the plays and I'll send them down to the Boston sideline.
Well, they might have the broadcast on down on the sideline.
They might, right?
And, you know, listen in. Oh, that's a good idea.
But
I think we'll do what she says. Not what he says, but what she says. Don't listen to me.
They can listen to you. I'm okay with that.
I agree with that strategy, though. She has both goals. It's 7-2 with 5:40 to go in the first half. Again, Baltimore and Long Island will play after this game as well, scheduled for approximately 7 o'clock start, give or take.
Give or take. That's about right. I mean, we probably will have some time in between. And the girls are getting excited. You can see them all getting taped up already for the next game here on the sideline and, you know, watching the other teams play. And
now, obviously with this league, seems like a great importance put on to bring all four teams to the same spot every week and play these double headers, or at least try to as much as possible. As Philadelphia now goes up 8-2.
That was Becky Lynch. I don't even have to look at the number. I already know that was a Becky Lynch shot. So, you know, catch and release for Becky Lynch is her money, as we like to say, her money shot. She's not one that's going to try to, you know, do behind the back or anything else. She's a straight up, I'm going to catch it, I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to put it in a spot where the goalie can't save it.
So Becky Lynch scores to make it 8-2. But going back to doubleheaders, getting all 4 teams in the same spot certainly does seem like the right way to go about things, as opposed to having this game here in the Boston area and having Baltimore and Long Island maybe playing down in Maryland today.
Yeah, I mean, I like it better because I get to see everybody. You know, for a person that, again, loves the sport, for me to be in one venue and get to see out of the 100 kids playing like 80 All-Americans, I'm pretty pumped about that, And like I said, many of these kids we've known, played against, with, and it's fun to watch them battle it out.
Daniela Epler with the ground ball from Philadelphia, hoping to restart it. She never really got the ball back in her cross to restart there as the Storm were trying to steal possession. Here's Jackie Jahelka. And mostly cloud cover during this game today, but the temperature very comfortable. Cermak forced back outside.
Well, it was a lot warmer than I thought, so.
We'll certainly take it. That's a shot that's low that Valarelli makes a nice save on, and she read it well.
Absolutely. 100% great save. Down on her knees, nowhere to shoot.
I think that was Carly O'Connell with the shot attempts. Played out at Oregon collegiately, and now is an assistant coach at UMass Lowell, though. But she is from Massachusetts, though, from Southborough, so.
Massachusetts? You don't say it like that?
Spanning the globe, spanning the country, as Boston gets their 3rd goal. This time it is McKinley Sportone, again formerly McKinley Kuro from Boston University, 2010 graduate, and played last year with Long Island.
Yeah, that
I tried to double and triple check this. I think the only player that has switched teams.
It might have been. What happened is, through the draft, you're only allowed to protect a certain amount of kids, and that was one of the kids, as talented as she is. She got picked up by another team immediately as soon as she was left unprotected. So
it's 8-3 now with 2.5 minutes left.
And I know the GM at Boston wanted to keep the regional talent where they were. He thinks it's great for the fan base and keeping the kids where they're from. I love that thought process, so I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I know it was kind of weird, having her switch teams and whatnot.
The only one. I double-checked, just kind of want to see if any movement. That's the only player that changed teams. And now, a question I have for you and regarding the league in general, has this league reached out to, say, the National Women's Soccer League? They're in their 5th year now. Or the National Women's Hockey League that just had their 2nd year, kind of maybe to pick their brain or pick each other's brains to kind of – Philadelphia scores another one, Jackie Jahelka, now 9-3, Philadelphia. But has that happened, or am I giving you an idea?
No, yeah. I mean, obviously the woman that runs the league, my boss, Digit Murphy, is
women's hockey coach at Brown.
And she's she's been named the Olympic coach for China. So she's always in and out and all over. So she has those contacts and understands how that works. But, primarily for lacrosse, we just try to reach out to our lacrosse people.
Okay.
There's some brain trust that we trust, Joe Spallina, Janine Tucker, Chris Robinson, Carol Rose, just getting into those club, Kristen Porcella, you talk to these people that are involved in the club world and the college world, and you just say to them, help us, lead us through the process of what it's going to take to make this not just successful, but sustainable. We don't want this to be a year or 2 project and then not reach fruition. We want to eventually go to expansion. You have 4 teams now, then up to 6 and maybe 8, and really make this something that the girls are just excited to be about as we are.
I've been lucky enough to cover those 2 leagues that I've mentioned, and I'm already seeing it today. This is my first game that I'm covering here with the UWLX. But one of the things after a couple of games I walked away with in my head was just how good now you get. I've seen a ton of college games over the years in soccer and hockey and lacrosse, but when you get them all together on this professional level, just how good some of these players are, and then how much better they make their teammates. And there's the 3rd goal now for Atrasco.
And there's Atrasco just taking a dodge down the lane, but it's her shot selection. Her placement is unreal. And again, if we're talking to younger athletes, you really have to work on that piece of it. You should always be shooting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, upper corners, lower corners, goalie hips. And those are the things you have to start to perfect. because that's what makes a player like Danielle Trasco special. And you look at her, and for again those young ladies, that she's only about 5'3", right? Maybe on her tippy toes.
So I'm taller than her, is what you're
You
saying.
might be, and maybe she weighs a buck 30 soaking wet. I can't even tell you. But to be honest with you, she's got to be one of the best players out there. I mean,
Well, she's got 3 of the 4 Boston goals now.
Just smart, aggressive, fit, the whole 9 yards. So this sport of lacrosse is really for everybody, and that's what I think I love most about it.
Yeah, size definitely doesn't matter. I've seen players this year on the men's level. Can't remember his name. Feel bad. At Villanova, he's about 5'3", 5'4", but he's one of the toughest players that plays at the collegiate level. So the size doesn't really tend to matter in this sport. Murphy in front was set up right in front of the crease, but that was a good defensive play. I'll try to see. Get a number on who made that play. I think it was Margaret Corzel who was able to get the stick in the way to stop Hannah Murphy from being wide open.
That was a nice setup that they were just unable to finish, and here we are in the final 30 seconds of the half here. Let's see if Philadelphia can add another one.
Already up 10-4, down to 23 seconds left in the half. Cermak gave up the pass there, now 14 seconds. Emily Garrity bringing it behind the net with 5. Trying to spin away from Murphy. Draws a foul with 3 seconds to go. Oh, no, she stepped in the crease.
Yep, they called it for a crease violation.
Crease violation, and so the time will run out here in the first half of play. Really dominated offensively by Philadelphia as they put 10 goals on the board. If it wasn't for Danielle Trasco on the Boston side, things would be a little bit worse than they are, but it's 10-4 as we head to halftime. So we'll pause for now, but we'll come back in a couple of minutes, try to get you some halftime stats, and then have the second half of action live for you here from Attleboro High School. This is the season opener for the United Women's Lacrosse League. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Attleboro High School. We're at halftime in the UWLX opener between Boston and Philadelphia, and Philadelphia leads 10-4. I'm Scott Sudikoff alongside Tracy Weiner. Happy to have you with us on this opening day doubleheader. And going through some of the stats here, Karamupo with 4 goals, including one of them that was a 2-point tally to help Philadelphia get to 10-4. And those of you, it's hard for us to actually see the lines on the field here, but behind the 8-meter area is a 2-point shot in this league once again, so adds that little bit of extra flair to the league, a difference obviously from the college game, similar to the MLL 2-point shot. What it does do also, when you're down by 6, you kind of look at, hey, well, it's only a couple of 2-point shots, we're back in it. So that's a nice thing for this league to have. And then Kolodny, Korzell, Murray, Lynch, and Jahelka each have a goal for Philadelphia. 5 saves made by Leitner in goal for Philadelphia. And then Boston with 3 goals from Daniela Trasco. The other goal scored by McKinley Coro. And 4 saves made in goal by Boston goalie Rachel Valorelli.
I thought it was a great way to start the season so far. Great first half. You know, obviously Philadelphia, a little more offensive power, but, you know, as soon as Boston starts to get a little more comfortable with themselves and again, you know, we haven't even really had a chance to practice as teams yet, so everybody kind of feeling each other out on week 1.
Philadelphia outshot Boston 16-12 in the first half, and then Boston won 8 of 9 draw controls, but haven't taken full advantage of those wins.
Surprising fact in girls lacrosse too. You know, usually draw controls means your team is winning, and it's pretty good like that. But like I said, right now Philadelphia's offense is clicking. Karamupo came out and I think made a statement to start off this season that she was ready to play and feeling good about herself.
Yeah, she has 4 goals. One of those a 2-point tally, and Philadelphia with a 10-4 lead. As our little halftime scrimmage on the field is wrapped up, and now the two big teams are getting ready to come back out on the field, Philadelphia and Boston, out before the Philadelphia team with some stick taps for the players who played here at halftime.
So exciting, and those girls, when we do autograph signing at the end of the game, you know, since they participated, they'll get to go first and kind of beat the rush and take pictures and get autographs from all the pros.
So about another minute before we get this second half started. It gives us more time to discuss, obviously, this being the season opener for year number 2 of this league, and you know what that means really in the grand scheme. And again, you probably have to take baby steps with the league, but where do you want this league to be, say, at the end of this year? What steps this year is the league trying to make?
For me, I really want the girls to be excited about it. You know, the players are our product, and they have to be happy. And they have to say at the end of the season, I can't believe it's over. I wish we had 10 more weeks to go. You know, that's really my goal. And for them to leave at the end of the season and be like, you know, Wiener, I'm ready to sign up for next year right now. And that's kind of experience that we want to give them. And I'm hoping next year, you know, we'd like to expand. So that would be awesome.
You are very good at reading my mind, because where would you go next? What would the next 2 spots be?
For me, I would say either Florida or the Carolinas would be, you know, I don't think we're ready yet to go out west.
No team in Denver yet?
Not yet.
I was out there for a Denver game this past year. A lot of fun. They love it out there.
Yeah, it is. It's growing. I mean, but I think we'll stay on the East Coast to just, you know, keep things started, and then maybe 2 years from now start to transition out west if everything keeps going according to plan.
All right, the second half about to get going. Hannah Murphy for Boston on the draw. Kelsey Mcgovern. Once again, the UMass connection getting set for the draw control, as Liz Hogan will be starting in goal here in the second half for Boston, the 2011 product of Syracuse, the all-time leader in saves and ground balls for the Orange. Played 7 games in goal last year for Boston. Had a 4-3 record.
Liz is fun to watch. She can really make some saves that she's not supposed to.
And a smaller goalie, really, 5'5".
Yeah, but her game is 6'8". You know, she's unreal. So
I wish
much
they had
fun
said
to
that
watch.
about my basketball career. Shooting space violation going here against Philadelphia, so a quick free position for Boston. Bree Hudgens, who's an assistant coach currently at Brown, where she played collegiately and bounces one home. And even more interesting with her, a third-grade math teacher.
Bree's awesome. You know, I go way back with Bree Hudgens. She played at, I'm going to say, Baldwinsville High School, if I'm not mistaken. It could be, or West Jenny. She might actually be a West Jenny kid now that I think about it. And I believe that she tore us up for a state championship in high school.
Oh, so you know her for negative reasons.
Yeah, I think she West Jenny beat Farmingdale quite a few times before we finally won a couple. And I'm pretty sure Bree was one of the reasons that we lost.
So 10-5 now, just a minute into the second half. So Hudgens getting on the board with the free position tally, playing her first game in this league. You see players that maybe graduated 2 or 3 years ago who didn't play in the league last year, now playing this year. Is that because of the openings, because of the World Cup players, or is that because they went, hey, wait a minute, I want to play in this league?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a little bit of both. Simply because, you know, last year, first year, you don't know how it's all going to play out. And then, you know, here it is now, year 2, we're still around. People are like, okay, you know, this is something that's, you know, I really want to be a part of. And then with the openings, because it's not just the U.S. team. We have several players in the league that play for other countries as well, based upon their, you know, their parents' birth origins and things of that nature. So there might have been a good 30 spots that opened up.
Here's Hannah Murphy, jumping right into the league after finishing up at UMass. Her graduation had to have been maybe last week or 2 weeks ago out in Amherst.
Ange McMahon does a great job at UMass with those girls, head coach.
They've won about 100 straight Atlantic 10 championships.
Yeah, unreal.
Philadelphia going for the clear. Leading by 5, 10-5. One person clear here, Barbara Sullivan. Now pulls it up. Coming around the cage. Philadelphia is setting up on offense for the first time here in the second half with the new goalie Liz Hogan in the crease for the Storm. It was 10-4 at halftime. Bree Hudgens with the lone goal for Boston here in the second. Carly O'Connell being forced back in the corner along the back line there. Now makes a move towards the front. Her shot is wide. The backup from Becky Lynch.
I tell you, you know, a little stat that doesn't win there. Barbara Sullivan made the only pass that could possibly get through on that, which was a bounce pass on the turf.
Lynch with a bounce shot score. Second goal today for Becky Lynch.
I don't even know how she got that shot off. Really, she shot it in between the two defenders. So for all of you that think when you're in a double team you have to dodge through the middle, just do what Becky Lynch just did and just bounce it right by him, and they totally screened Liz Hogan, and it makes it a higher percentage shot.
You mentioned Becky Lynch, an assistant coach at St. Joseph's, just finished her third year there after a tremendous career at North Carolina.
So, I mean, that whole staff there, you know, head coach is Alex Cahoe, who is a Terrapin alumnus. She was a goalie for Maryland. I'm not going to say how many years ago in case she's listening. But, you know, just one of the finest people that I know through the years. And, you know, her and Becky just.
Well, how about the Final Four this weekend with really all the Maryland connections?
It was unreal. It's Maryland Northwestern, I think, of the biggest coaching trees.
Mm-hmm. Here comes Daniela Trasco. Scored 3 goals. Hat trick in the first half for Boston. We're out there, number 13 in white for the Storm. Had 11 goals last year. Well on her way to that and more this year. This is Charlie Finnegan working with the ball below the goal line. She's a product of the University of Virginia, 2012 graduate.
It sounds so recent, 2012. I mean, but
5 years ago, though.
Yeah.
Really, yeah, you're right. It really.
I mean,
yeah. Free position, and there's a save. Leitner, her 5th save and her first of the second half. Actually, her 6th total, and now able to scoop it up behind the cage.
I feel like Philadelphia's gotten off to a great start because if you look at their roster, it's peppered with a lot of the same kids they had last year. So maybe there's a little more familiarity in them where, Boston, he's really, picked up a lot of kids from the area, and it might just take them a game or two to.
Good trail check to knock that one loose. Vicky Graveline. Now a battle. 3-on-2 in Boston's favor. And the Storm will get the possession out of that. So all led by the check from Graveline. There's Hogan. Or excuse me, she's just directing traffic. The ball is back here on the near side, and bad pass. Abby Refus gives possession back to Philadelphia. Jackie Jahelka, national champion just a week ago at Adelphi.
It's a good story. I got to select her. I thought that she was one of the best players around, and picked her out for this Philly team. And then a week later, I was a guest speaker in her college class out of the blue. Sitting in the front row, I started laughing.
Mupo gave up that ball. I think that was a pass, right?
That was a pass, yeah. Just hit the pipe on that shot.
Driving and losing control, Lauren Murray. And now the Storm trying to work unsettled. A lot of space here on the run. Going coast to coast and scoring, Allie Fleury. The all-time leading goal scorer at Denver with her first this season for Boston.
I was wondering when Allie Fleury was going to take it to the hole. We're so used to watching her all these years just be super aggressive, and on that time she's like, you know what, I'm just going to go. Just give it to me and everybody get the heck out of my way.
Had 10 goals last year in 10 games. Had 202 goals in her time as a Pioneer out in Denver.
It's a beautiful campus out there, and, Eliza Kelly does such a great job.
That stadium that they get to play in now, too, is just fantastic. I mean, it's one of, I say one of few, but I don't know. I can't name another lacrosse-only stadium at that level in the college game.
Yeah, it's so nice also that, Denver's really become a hotbed of our sport, and the fan base, the enthusiasm out there is wonderful.
Men's team, obviously, with Bill Tierney, able to build that program up, win that national championship a couple of years ago. It's a lacrosse and hockey school. They do all that. They have all that success with no football to help infuse the athletic department.
And they bring in experienced coaches. Liza Kelly, formerly Liza Shoemaker, is a Maryland product. She played at Delaware, and then she coached, Boston U, and they bumped her out to Denver. You have to, you bring a coach like that out there, it's going to attract players.
Philadelphia with possession, leading 11-6 in the second half. Baltimore and Long Island coming up next.
Say it like it's Long Island. Say
Island.
It like you mean it, man.
Long Island and Baltimore.
B-more, we call them.
Driving left, but missing the net on the shot. Emily Garrity, who's a national champion in North Carolina. Well, if I'm going to have any accent, it's going to be the Boston accent.
Correct.
But I don't think I have it. And then my time down in Maryland didn't really give me a Maryland accent either.
Everybody knows where I'm from because I can't hide my Long Island love.
Here's a Trasco on the clear. Good pass ahead. Boston trying to get numbers now. Good catch and shot by Lauren Kahn. I'm not sure if Leitner got a piece of it on the way by there, but it's still Boston ball.
Leitner's quietly done a very good job tonight. She's everywhere in the cage. She's smart, aggressive, but not out of control.
Here is Kahn. Fires high over the crossbar.
I'm waiting for you to do like a Star Trek, Wrath of Khan thing.
I have a reference on the Philadelphia side that I'm waiting to potentially make. It's really going to have to be in a perfect situation.
Okay.
And that's bounced in for a Boston score to make it 11-7. And not
Quietly,
yet 10
right?
minutes into the second half. Yeah, they're chipping
Quietly
away here.
chipping away. Love it.
And it looks like Philadelphia calling a timeout here with 20 minutes, 2 seconds left to go second half. It's 11-7. Again, it was 10-4 at halftime. So the Storm have been able to inch back within a couple of goals. From 6 now to 4, 11-7.
And that's the thing about girls lacrosse. That's as fast as it can change. Honestly,
We saw it last night in that Navy-Boston College game.
A couple of draw controls, and that was it, And again, I also felt in the first game, because I watched, obviously, the Maryland Penn State game, and then all of a sudden Penn State would go on a little bit of a roll, but then Horshorn would win, 3 or 4 draw controls in a row, and the momentum would go back to the Terrapins. But to me, the draw control is the whole game, and very rarely does a team win draw control possession and lose. So it's just one of those things where you saw Kayla Trainer at Syracuse last year, went to the draw control with unbelievable results. Obviously Taylor Cummings winning 3 Tewaratons in a row, just dominating from the draw circle. Shelby Fredericks at Northwestern, she's still there now. I mean, what she can do in the draw circle, they can steal games for you. And then Carrie McCarthy at Stony Brook was on fire, for the NCAA tournament. She's just so talented. And then I think Sam Apuzzo last night was a big reason that PC won.
On the draw control, in your mind, what is the bigger advantage? Being a taller player, standing at 6 feet tall, someone who can reach up higher, grab that ball, or someone who is a little bit smaller and has that kind of underneath leverage event?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it's a tall girl that can self-draw.
Okay.
Alyssa Leonard, you look at you'll see Amanda Johansson in our next game. Taylor Cummings, I mean, although Taylor's not a giant, she's not little. Kayla Trainer's tall. Carrie McCarthy.
So you're saying I wouldn't have much success on the draw
Zero
control?
success is what I'm going to say. Sorry.
That's mostly because I don't have any skill overall, more than my height.
All right. That's a lot of TMI.
We'll go with that.
For our first broadcast, that's a lot of TMI. I can't say anything either. I physically cannot play the sport of lacrosse, so I just coach it. They didn't have it when I was growing up.
Ball loose in the offensive end for Philadelphia, and the Storm find it. So out of the timeout. Boston down by 4.
Well, what's happening now is that Boston's really, every mistake that Philly's making, Boston's finding a way to capitalize on it, which they were not doing in the first half.
Atrasco with the ball on her cross here on the near side.
Maybe Atrasco took over the huddle at halftime.
Kayla Gottlieb, a little bit of trouble. Goes back to pick it up along the turf. A 2014 graduate of Ohio State. Big Ten, of course, adding that lacrosse league over the last couple of years, and helped out by the fact that Maryland moved to the Big Ten. That kind of, I think, helped spurn that. Obviously, Rutgers there as well.
Yeah, Michigan and Penn State, Ohio State.
Johns Hopkins getting the nod.
Northwestern. Big Ten is just as strong as the ACC now.
Atrasco. She's shut off. Once again, this is Gottlieb drawing a foul. Way out front there. From Madison, Connecticut. So a New England product. There is 10 seconds, by the way, on that shot clock, and right on cue, the Storm shoot and score, and it's 11-8.
Just keep inching their way back. I mean, now at this point, it's a game, And again, with a 2-point shot that you can take, they're 2 possessions away from tying this game or even taking the lead if they're both 2-point goals.
Charlie Finnegan with the tally for the Storm. 3-goal game now with 18 minutes left, so certainly we have a ball game for this final 18 minutes. Even after Philadelphia led 10-4 at halftime.
Let's see if they make any adjustments, Philly. I mean, obviously, for the first game, their bench isn't as deep as Boston's, and maybe that's starting to affect them a little bit, but
loose ball in the draw control, and Boston has it. Kelsey Sheridan gets it off to Carly Cronin. Now Hudgens, who got the goal to begin the scoring this half for Boston. cutting towards the net, but no pass available to her. Now Finnegan just scored a moment ago for Boston. Trying to get a pass away. It was knocked away from behind by Kelsey Mcgovern. And it'll be Philadelphia ball.
That's a great defensive stand right there. You know, I mean, depending on what type of shot Boston could have gotten off, this could have been a one-goal game. And instead, now they have a chance to, you know, re-widen their gap and maybe get momentum swinging back their way.
Barbara Sullivan looking for that self-clear again.
She's been doing it all game. Why stop now, Babs? One of the funniest kids ever. You spend 10 minutes with Barbara Sullivan, 9 minutes, you'll be laughing.
That's a good ratio.
It is, but that's why I hang out with her. She's hilarious. She was the first kid I saw today, and I was thrilled.
Jahelka moving it to the far side. Daniela Epler. She's marked by Fleury. Out in front, a good pass and a good shot to beat Liz Hogan. To get Philadelphia back on the board, up by 4, 12-8.
Boy, I tell you what, Carly O'Connell, you know, hits Becky Lynch on a beautiful, you know, I'm not going to say draw and dump, but more of a give and go type thing, where she just did a backdoor cut Lynch and just dumped it off. It was so pretty.
So back to a 4-goal advantage for Philadelphia. And on the draw again, Murphy versus McGovern.
I credit the defense, though, for that goal and that nice stance that they made. Got to give it a little defensive love, you know. Doesn't happen often.
They do tend to get, even as a play-by-play broadcaster, sometimes it's not that you ignore the defense. It's just in this sport, it's tough to sometimes give them the credit when it happens. You got to be really on the ball to, hey, that play happened.
Correct.
Because seconds later, it's moving down the other side of the field. Right now, off the draw control, Murphy with the dish as the shot went high.
Wait, Trasco really got clipped on that one, too. I never tell if Danielle's upset that she got whacked or that she missed the cage.
Storm able to keep the possession, though. Murphy did have 47 goals this year for UMass. Now it's Jennifer Schmidt behind the cage. A little bit of stick up high. The crowd looking for a call. Doesn't come. Hudgens gets tripped up, and you'll get that call now.
Barbara Sullivan's being real active on the crease back there and actually got away with one. And not the second one, though.
So Hudgens will restart it for the Storm to Murphy. Lauren Kahn taking it behind the goal line, now behind the cage. Pass in front, and the quick stick attempt was broken up there by Epler. Sporbone was trying to quickly pot it to the back of the net. But Philadelphia's defense standing up again. Another foul behind the cage. Hudgens spins, goes low and scores. Second goal of the game for Bree Hudgens.
It's a nice move by Hudgens right there. Getting it on the crease. Doesn't take a step because she doesn't want to step in. So instead, she just kind of lets her stick do the talking, changes the levels. Again, we talked about stick work earlier. Makes all the difference.
So Boston back within 3 again, 12-9. Still plenty of time left, 13 minutes. And as we mentioned on a couple of occasions, having the 2-point shot involved as well in the game. We've only seen one so far today. Although it doesn't seem like it's going to come up too much because, again, that's an area of the field that you don't want to take too many shots because a lot of times you're just going to be giving up possession.
Yes and no. I mean, at this level, the goalies are so good that it's hard to score from the outside. But, I mean, on the college level, it's becoming more and more popular. You'll really see girls wind it up to Nicole Levy style.
Except they only get one point on the board.
They only get 1 point. But, I mean, if the day comes that Levy decides to be a pro, she will be the 2-point specialist by far.
Hudgens trying to keep the momentum going for Boston. Giving to Finnegan, who has a goal here in the second half as well. This is Trasco, had a hat trick in the first half. Sporbone scored a goal as well. She has the ball right now. Finnegan. Trasco spinning left. Left-handed shot is saved. Loose ball, though, for the Storm. Finnegan. Well, right down the middle, the split, and the shot saved again. Hudgens, the loose ball, attacks the net, and she's fouled from behind. Set up a free position chance now for the Storm.
Hudgens so quick and strong. When she gets a full head of steam, it's almost impossible for a defender to stop her.
So Hudgens working from the left side of the 8 meters on this free position. Finds the room for the shot. Going top left corner to score it. She has a hat trick here in the second, and it's 12-10.
You know, I wonder if one of the conversations at halftime in the huddle was, ladies, we got to go to goal. You know, you guys are my goal scorers. You're my attackers. When you get the ball, let's attack the cage. Let's not hesitate. We don't need to pass it around. If you're a goal scorer, be a goal scorer. And for me, Hudgens has been the difference so far in the second half. She's really kind of just dominated around the crease area.
In the first half of this game, it seemed to have sort of the feel of an exhibition type of game because, again, the players sort of, hey, I haven't seen you in 6 months, or hey,
right,
I'm just
correct.
meeting you, and let's play a game. It does now seem in the second half, though, it's more of the competitive. Well, this we want to win. This counts.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then, you know, for those girls, they sit on the side and they look at the halftime score and say, oh, yeah, no, this isn't happening.
And there's pride. There's a lot of pride involved as well. Lauren Kahn off the draw control, driving in, pulls up at the goal line extended, throwing it back out, a bouncer to Hudgens. Storm have really been dominating possession now recently. Down 2. They trailed 10-4 at halftime.
Only giving up 2 goals in the entire second half.
Jennifer Schmidt draws the double to Murphy, fires one on, and scores. Hannah Murphy scores her first professional goal. And it's a 12-11 game.
Well, what needs to happen for Philly right now is they need to win the draw, and they need to go back to what was working for them in the first half, and we need to get Karamupo the ball.
That's a good point. I maybe have said her name once or twice, if even,
Correct.
here in the second half. And
Twice
it may have
would be
just
a
been
lot.
maybe just in reference to what she did in the first half.
That's exactly right. And, you know, you got to go with your money player, and in the first half it was Moop.
1-goal game with 9.5 minutes left. Well, this is exactly what you want for your opening day, to have
Without
a
a
game
doubt.
to be this close. And again, Baltimore and Long Island will come up next.
Yeah, like I said, I can't be any happier where you got crowded stands, a tight game. You can hear everybody yelling. People, I love listening to the fans giving all their advice to the players as if they can hear them. It makes me happy.
Another draw win for the Storm. On the run, Jennifer Schmidt makes the pass down low to Atrasco. Atrasco finding Kahn, a little backdoor play, and then it leads to a goal eventually.
That was unbelievable. Utrasco, okay, so let's talk about this play. Utrasco swings it behind the cage, comes diagonally over the top of the cage, and then cuts into the shooting area and receives a perfect pass and gets leveled, which is okay, because Danielle does that all the time. She'll just wipe herself off and get back up and buries it.
4th goal of the game now for Atrasco. First of the second half, 12-12, and timeout Philadelphia as Boston has outscored the Force 8-2 in this second half. That play was pretty, and you could tell because I was a little lost in it because of how good it was.
It was gorgeous, but I've only seen Danielle Trasco do that about 10,000 times since she's been 14 years old. And, you know, it's just a smart play because the defense is shifting, so you're going to go opposite, so now they have to shift back, and when they start to shift, you just backdoor cut, and if you have a person that knows that you do that and they put the pass right on the money, it's you know, tic-tac-toe.
I'm Scott Sudikoff alongside Tracy Weiner. Happy to have you with us. Opening day, season number 2 of the United Women's Lacrosse League here in Attleboro, Massachusetts, Attleboro High School, a very nice complex they have here. Obviously, Attleboro it's a bigger school. They are, if I remember, they are now members of the Hockomock League here in this area, a league that I grew up in, my town that I grew up here nearby.
Gotcha. Say that name again?
The Hockomock League.
Gotcha.
Hockomock, they were North Attleboro was always a member of the Hockomock League. Well, not always, but at least in the time that I know. And Attleboro eventually maneuvered their way in, and a little bit of a rivalry. But as you can see, a nice. They take football fairly seriously, and so they have this nice stadium here. But obviously, they have soccer and lacrosse that's played here. Plenty of room in the stands. And I'll go out and I'll say a better press box than a lot of professional or college press boxes that I've been in. So that's always a thumbs up. We have our own dedicated booth.
Great people working in here as well, laughing at all of our jokes, which is a bonus. It doesn't happen often.
That always helps when the people you work with are smiling and happy. Because
100%.
if they're angry and just
if
they don't like you, they make you sound bad on the air, and they do things to mess with you.
This is a great game though, and a great way to open up our season. I'm expecting the same on Long Island and Baltimore, two regions that know each other well. And talk about playing games for pride. I mean, nobody likes to battle more than Long Island and Baltimore.
And, of course, next Saturday's doubleheader now, officially now a doubleheader down in New Canaan, correct?
That is correct.
Next Saturday, so all 4 teams will be there in New Canaan, Connecticut. And then I think the weekend after, the June 9th, out at UMass Amherst for a doubleheader as well.
So much fun.
So let's see what Philadelphia can do as they gain possession here, tied up 12-12, 8 minutes to go in the second half. After they had a fairly comfortable lead. Hogan coming out from the crease to attack there. Able to get back in now. Jahelka maneuvering right. Has it knocked out of her cross, but it's a foul on Boston.
Yeah, I just had to reach across the body and make that check, and it's not legal in the sport of girls lacrosse.
Let's see if they can get Mupo involved. She's out at the top right now. She's being jostled around a bit by Nicole Poli.
Well, Poli's been locking her off pretty tight in the second half, and that makes all the difference.
There's a shot that goes wide. I was going to say it. We saw it yesterday in the national semifinals, that kind of that face guarding technique to keep a certain player just out of the action completely.
And every coach has their own way of trying to battle that. Some just pull them right out, and some let them work the crease. And
Garrity draws the double. Got rid of the pass. It's loose on the turf. A battle near the top of the crease. Hogan was hoping it would roll to her. And it's a whistle against Boston. So Philadelphia will retain possession with 6:45 to go. Just a restart up top. Shot clock is down in the teens right now at 10 seconds now. Have to get a shot off. Lynch gets the bouncing ball, has to put one towards goal, bounces one in, and a save by Hogan. That certainly would have been a 2-point shot if that went in.
No
with the
question.
Shot clock winding down.
Liz Hogan got a good look at that, even though there was a lot of bodies in the way. I was wondering if she was partially screened on that, but really followed it. Knowing that the clock is running down, she was expecting a shot.
Allie Fleury, who had a goal earlier this half in a similar situation, heading towards the net right now, will take the shot and miss the net.
As the defense starts to collapse on Fleury, she lets the sidearm fly, just misses that upper corner.
Had a hat trick in a game against Philadelphia last year, did Fleury. A goal so far today. Ball on her stick right now. Try to get it to Atrasco. Looked like the pass was a little bit behind her and turned over.
She tried to thread the needle just a little too tight on that. And the good thing about the shot clock is, there's no way you can't stall the game out. Doesn't slow down. Still have to play it out.
Lynch flipping it to Kolodny. Going to get back now. This is Carly O'Connell, current assistant coach at UMass Lowell. Just wrapped up their 4th year as a Division I program. After that school made their transition up from Division II, adding in both men's and women's lacrosse. Garrity gets a step. Hanging on to it. Got it to Mupo. Spinning left. Good defense by Poli. Lynch dropping it. Still 30 seconds on the possession clock. Possession clock, shot clock. Got 90 seconds. A rule that was instituted in the college game this year as well. And I give it 2 big thumbs up.
I do too. I don't think it's really affected teams as they thought it would. Most teams have said it's not that difficult to get a shot off in 90 seconds.
8 seconds for Mupo right now. The roll. Down to 5. and flings one towards net, blindly really, just hoping to get it on net. It'll be Austin ball. There was 2 seconds on the clock when she got that shot off.
Yeah, just trying to make something out of nothing was Mupo. You know, she didn't touch the ball that much, so she figures if I have it, I might as well hold on to it.
Scored 4 goals in the first half and has been shut out here in the second. Boston has outscored Philadelphia 8-2 in the second half to tie this game up 12-12. Jennifer Schmidt working with Lauren Kahn. Goal line extended, marked by McGovern. Kahn, maybe she's trying to get that to the cutting Hudgens, but hanging on to it. 3.5 to play. Murphy able to make that catch as looked as if Epler was going to go for the steal and the run the other way. Shot wide. Back up for Boston, though.
Trasco, it's money time. You know, she wants a ball in her stick, and I don't blame her. She's won many, many a game in her career. I mean, they all do, but she's just that kid that, you know.
Trying to win this ball back, but instead, ground ball to Katie Hirsch. Well, scoring now has kind of gone away over the last couple of minutes. It's been tied at 12 for a while.
It's a nice defensive play, though, by Katie Hirsch.
Speaking of defense, good play by Tanner Guarino to step in front of that pass. This is Murphy. Now the Storm try to attack. Foul on Philadelphia as Guarino carrying it all the way in there. Guarino, a Framingham, Massachusetts native. Now the head coach at Natick High School here in Mass. And another UMass product playing-wise.
It's nice to play in front of your home crowd. I think the girls are loving it. I mean, the people in the stands, their parents, everybody gets to watch them play, you know. And again, you think that when your your college career is over that, you know, it's so finite, and now they have this incredible opportunity.
I'll be honest here, I'm not sure what they called here because they're
they
giving
call
Philadelphia the
cradling
ball.
in the sphere.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so in girls lacrosse, you cannot cradle to the point where you cannot check it.
Less than 2 minutes to go here in the second half, tied 12-12. Season opener. Becky Lynch has a couple of goals today, gives it up. Now back to her out top. Cermak behind the goal, and there's a big save by Hogan, robbing Carly O'Connell.
I'll tell you what, I said before, watch Liz Hogan make some saves that she's not supposed to make, and that was one of them.
Minute 20 left, 12-12, so we're almost in a golden goal type situation right now with a minute 14 left.
Yeah, they're going to take a
Timeout.
timeout here and set it up. They are going to hold for the last shot, and I don't blame them.
Right,
You know,
90-second clock, a minute 14 left, so.
Almost more curious to see what Philly's going to do as opposed to Boston. You know that Boston's going to hold for the last shot. That goes without saying, but does Philly come out and pressure? Or do they let them just hang on to the ball and hold on to it and
just hope to play defense, basically.
correct? You know, or are they going to come out and pressure it and force them out of their thought process of holding on for the last shot? Got to put your coaching hat on there.
Well, that's what you're here for. I'm just the guy that narrates and asks you questions
Gotcha.
and lets you teach everybody. And then I'm the guy that they complain about on Twitter, most likely. Oh, I probably just started that now.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll be the first one to do that. Don't worry.
Minute 14 to go here, second half. Again, Baltimore and Long Island coming up next.
Again, though, you can't talk enough about that save from Liz Hogan, huh? Right on the doorstep. I mean, just swallowed it up like it was nothing. Calm, you know, not excited. Just another day at the office for Liz Hogan.
So we'll see if Boston draws something up. Yeah, I have to think they would draw something up probably for Daniela Trasco, but you have to have, obviously,
Correct.
backup options. And we've seen Hannah Murphy get on the board here in the second half. Bree Hudgens has scored 3 goals
Finnegan.
for Boston. Finnegan as well scored a goal.
Yeah, I think I would probably, I mean, if I was calling the play, my first thought would be Trasco, but I may end up getting it to Hudgens on the crease. You know, if everybody draws Trasco and, you know, she has a double or triple team, just dish it off to Hudgens and she'll finish.
So Philadelphia heading back out on the field as Boston wrapping up their huddle. 12-12, minute 14 to go, second half. Philadelphia led 10-4 at halftime. Again, I believe the shot clock is out of the picture here with a minute 14 to go completely.
Yeah, I think it's exact. 74 seconds, minute 14.
So the Storm will reset with the ball. Murphy standing at the 35-yard line.
How cool would that be for our first game of the year to go to OT? And they're just going to sit in the defensive end and let them hold.
So Murphy will just stand around here, probably
30 seconds.
How much, 30 more seconds?
I would say when the clock hits 30
seconds. So I got time
seconds,
for a quick nap is what you're saying. Okay.
It's going to be real quick. But I would say they're going to hold on 30 seconds, maybe a minute, start heading in.
Murphy moving it to Schmidt. Jennifer Schmidt, who played both at Rutgers and Ohio State in her college career. Murphy now down to 35 seconds. And let's see if they start to make their move any second now. Holding for this final shot, trying to win it. Schmidt. Now it's Hudgens with 17 seconds. Hudgens making a move. Hudgens spinning to the crease. Lost it out of the cross there, knocked away from behind. Big defensive play with just 8 seconds left. Now Philadelphia, a chance maybe to throw one towards goal with 3 seconds left, with 2, with 1, and they will not get a shot off. Jahelka will pull up there. And we go to overtime in game number 1 of the 2017 UWLX season, 12-12.
I think Hudgens is looking for a call there, but they're not going to call it with under 5 seconds, give her an 8 meters. So, be like a little bit of a break probably for a
couple-minute break, I would assume. So, how about you and I? We'll take a quick break here.
Sure.
We'll pause. We'll come back. We'll get you overtime here between Boston and Philadelphia on the way next. All right, welcome back. Getting ready for overtime. 5 minutes on the clock. 5 minutes on the clock. Overtime about to commence. Philadelphia and Boston, our opener of the season and of today's doubleheader. Again, Philadelphia led 10-4 at halftime before the Storm racing back in the second half of play. And now we'll see who can get that game winner here in overtime.
Comes right down to the initial draw. You know, this is the single most important draw control of the game right here. I will say the adjustment on locking off Mupos made all the difference in the second half. And somebody else needs to step up if Kara's being locked off and be that goal-scoring threat.
She had 4 goals in the first half. Does not score in the second. Really seen kind of that for both teams. Daniela Trasco had 3 goals in the first half, did add a 4th in the second, but kind of those 2 star players were shut down in the second half, and you've had other players step up, specifically for Boston, as Philadelphia only had 2 goals.
Unbelievable, right? 30 minutes to score 2 goals in only 30 minutes when you literally dominated the entire first half.
I'm sorry, we're playing a 3-minute overtime.
Yeah, that's what we do in high school, so I didn't know if they were doing that in colleges. In the pros as well. In college, it's just, I don't even know if they do a timed OT. It's so rare, to be honest with you.
Boston really taking their time on their final huddle here because Philadelphia's been ready to go for about a minute and a half, and now the Storm will come out to the field and get this overtime started.
Crowd getting their money worth today, huh? So far in game 1.
Yep, game 1, and another game to go, of course. All right, the all-important draw control. See who gets first crack at winning this game. Murphy and McGovern.
Everybody going through their strategy, their OT strategy. These are some of the most competitive females, you know. They do not want to lose this game. They really are, you know, making some last-minute adjustments here to get this done.
Anticipation is building here as we wait to get going now. We are ready. Murphy wins it. So Boston will have the first chance.
It's a nice draw control. That was a 50-50 ball for about 2 seconds, and Murphy really...
On the run, that's a crossbar that keeps it out of the net. Murphy gets it to Smorbone, who scores, and Boston wins.
That was great play right there. You know, you saw a lot of action going on real quick. That shot was so hard on the cage that it literally shook the cage. What a great way to start our season. We expect nothing less in our next game, but what a comeback by Boston. I mean, really, out of this game for most of the first half, does a face guard locking off Mupo to start the second half and finds a way to win in overtime.
So the overtime win for Boston, 13-12, coming from behind, down 10-4 at halftime. So that will just wrap things up here for our first game today. And again, coming up just around the corner will be Baltimore and Long Island, the second game of our day. So be sure to rejoin us in, 20, 30 minutes, maybe a little sooner, to get that game going here between Long Island and Baltimore. For now, for Tracy Weiner, I'm Scott Sudikoff signing off here from Attleboro. You've been watching the United Women's Lacrosse League season opener